Right now, we have Norfolk State University's men's basketball coach, MEAC Coach of the Year, and winner of the MEAC Conference and Tournament Coach Robert Jones on the line. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. So last weekend, you went back-to-back, win the MEAC tournament. How did you guys get it done?
Just locking in and just playing some defense, making a few shots, I guess. And, we're able to get through that gauntlet. MEAC tournament was probably the toughest. MEAC conference, I should say, was probably the toughest it's been in a while. It's been a lot of good teams. Some of the bottom teams became good teams. So and a lot of good teams stayed good teams. So it was a tough year.
You're definitely surprised that Coppin made it all the way to the finals to play you all.
Yeah, see, I wasn't so surprised. I think they got talent. I just think that they just didn't have it together. There's a lot of things like going on over there. So I just think that they ended up putting it together for two good games and was able to make a run. But I think that we saw that they had talent. We weren't like super surprised that they made it to the finals. I think a lot of people see the 7th seed. They don't really look at the talent that they have and things like that. And like I said, they just got like a lot going on over there. It looks like from the outside.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right. So the NCAA tournament starts this week. You all play. I'll play number 1 seed in the East in Baylor Thursday at 2 p.m. last week. We talked about, you all deserving to me a 14 or 15 seed, but the committee gave you the 16 seed in the East. What were your thoughts when you saw the brackets?
Well, as we started checking like a lot of the bracketology stuff as we get close to, Selection Sunday, it seemed like all the bracketology started to put us at 16. Which I don't think is very fair. I think that with 24-6, we didn't have like any signature wins.
Yeah.
But the problem the committee always also doesn't see is that a lot of those teams that's in the tournament, we've asked to play, and they decline because they don't want to play. Whether they're worried about losing or whatever the case is. So we've tried to get a lot of those teams out in the tournament, and then so we play who we can play. And, like I said, I use examples like UNC Wilmington that we beat, and they were on top of the CAA conference for a long time. And then the CAA team that got in got a 15 seed. And then, I know the Big South team that got in got a 14 seed. And they did a great job over there, a great job. But at the same time, it was very comparable conferences that got in. And then Yale got in, too, that wasn't supposed to get in. They got in last minute. They beat Princeton. Which I know was the favorite in that situation, and they got a 14 seed, I think. So, somebody got to make it make sense to us a little bit. But hey, once we got over the initial anguish and disappointment, because it's just not, these kids deserve it. I don't think people sitting in that room realize how hard it is to win 24 games. Like that's 80% of your games. And it's the Division I level. It's like that's extremely hard to do, and maybe people who sit in that room don't understand that or whatever the case is. But they gave us 16 and they go from there. I know a lot of people are like saying, well, because a lot of HBCUs are usually in the first 4 games and stuff like that. And really, honestly, the first 4 isn't that bad to me.
Yeah, you said that last week. Yeah,
it's not that bad to me, man. But it's like like I said last week, I said that if you give me a 16, then give me the first 4.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're gonna do us like that, then just give us the first 4. People think that it's like a reward if you're not in the first 4, and it's really not a reward if you're not in the firt 4. Like, okay, so my reward is Baylor. All right, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Why not get Wright State then Baylor? That's a reward. A 2-for-1 situation, or I forgot it was in the first 4, maybe Texas Southern or Texas Corpus Christi.
Texas Corpus Christi, yeah.
Like, why not have them and Baylor? That's a reward. That's not a reward. So, but hey, we got over that. Like I said, I got over that. I'll be honest with you too. We had a good day of practice today, and we ready to rock and roll. We will be ready to rock and roll on Thursday.
Oh, I definitely anticipate that. But I want to get to that point about the MEAC. I just feel like for me, because I've watched and I've seen multiple MEAC teams this season, and to me, a lot of teams have competed with some of these big schools. I know like the University of Maryland Eastern Shore competed with UConn at UConn, play a tough game at UConn. You had Howard playing Notre Dame, and they played them tough. You all, in terms of the season dominance, I just feel like, to me, the MEAC it's that whole notion that the MEAC is a weaker conference has to stop. I mean, to me, it's like it's been stronger. It's actually stronger than like a lot of conferences, to be honest with you. And like you said, this is a thing that we've seen throughout the history of college basketball. These good teams don't want to play some of these schools, you know what I mean? Because they're scared of an upset or whatever. So it's just like, to me, it's hard to, I would like the committee to kind of get away from that thought process of the MEAC being like this lower tier conference. Look at it for what it was this season. And then tell me a team that went back to back, went back to back, dominated the division this year, dominated the conference this season, and they were in the tournament last year. Why would you not reward them higher than the 16th seed?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's like 16 is like a death sentence. It's like, because it's only been 116 to win. 15 obviously is a a tough seed too. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of 15s, including us back in 2012, have won a game. And 14, as it gets lower and lower, then of course the odds go up higher and higher. I just think you reward a team like that to try to give us a chance to make something happen. And then once again, to all the Spartan fans and stuff like that out there, we're not conceding by any means. We're going out there to win a basketball game. We're just talking about
fairness.
How we felt like we shouldn't be in this. That's all this topic of conversation is. It's not about just get conceding or anything like that. We're going to be ready to play, and we're going to be ready to pull upset.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anybody should think from this conversation think that you're conceding. I think that there's an interest of fairness. That's all. Like, if anything, you could be a 1 seed, right, and complain of. I mean, you could be a 2 seed and complain about not being a 1 seed. You know what I mean? So it's all about fairness. But for me, I've coached boys and girls for like years and whatnot. So my thought process, when I felt like my squad was being disrespected, I would use it for my squad. Are you using that for your squad in terms of like motivation? Say, you know what? They don't believe in me, but you know what? We're going to make Baylor believe in this.
Yeah, I mean, we use that motivation. I mean, we always kind of play with I coach with a chip on my shoulder. No matter how much success I have, I always coach with a chip on my shoulder. I always want to prove that I'm the best, and I think that I tell the guys to do the same thing, prove that they're the best. Like, okay, they put us here. All right, cool. We got to show that, why we shouldn't be here, and things like that, so we got to go out there and compete hard, and we haven't competed. I mean, Baylor is a quality program. Not taking anything away from Baylor. This is, Baylor's a, real deal program, and we've played Baylor twice, early in my career one as an assistant and one as an early head coach. And we didn't fare very well against them. But I think the program has changed now. I think the players have changed. I've changed as a coach. And I think that we'll be ready to go. It's still a tall task. Like I said, they're the defending national champions for a reason. But at the same time, I just feel like we shouldn't be playing. We shouldn't be even playing.
Of course, no, I get you. I'm with you, my man. I'm with you. And it's just no one thought that UMBC was going to beat Virginia. You know what I mean? So it is like anything that happened. And today, and to me, and Ray and I, who's not able to be on the show, we always talk about like the parity in college basketball is so much different than what it was back in the day. Like, there's so much more parity in college basketball. Like, these kids in smaller schools are able to compete with some of these so-called big major schools. All right, so obviously you went to the tournament last year. How will this experience of being in the tournament last year help you for Thursday?
I think, the preparation, you know how to kind of like prepare for the games and things like that. So that that'll be the same. I think what was a little different was like today, we had our first practice back and stuff. And it was like, it was a little weird at first because, it's like you kind of practice all year to win that championship, in which we did. And then of course the celebration, we had a day off yesterday, it was Selection Sunday and all that stuff like that. And now it's like, okay, back to work, let's go for another goal. So last year we didn't have that. Last year we won the championship at the same thing, 1 o'clock game. At 7 o'clock we was already on our way to Indianapolis.
Ooh, okay.
So it was like almost like a constant work. It wasn't just like a stoppage anywhere. So this was a little different that I had to get used to as a coach. NCAA tournament coach, to be prepared for. So that was probably the only difference. But other than that, preparation will be preparation, and we're gonna be ready to, be ready to go.
What was your preference last year or this year? What's your preference?
I think that's a good question. I mean, I think that I don't know yet. Let me answer that.
I understand. I know you're coming from. I know. I get it. No, I get it.
I think that I will. I'm happy for the guys because they're going to be able to experience the NCAA tournament the right way.
Yeah.
When we went last year, like the bubble was crazy. I mean, the bubble was, you was really confined to your room. It was crazy in the bubble. But it was, when we went 2012, when I was there, they're going to experience that. They're going to experience the fanfare. They're going to experience the 10,000 people in the arena. They're going to experience the, people actually cheering for the underdog and stuff like that. They're going to experience all that stuff, especially if you keep it close. If you keep it close, the whole crowd flips for you, that's how, because I mean, and when we beat Missouri, we came in there with about 50 fans. I mean, let's face it, nobody was traveling to Omaha. That wasn't happening I mean, at least for us, right? But by the time we left, we had 15,000 fans, because it's like everybody wants to see the Cinderella. So if we can keep it close, the momentum will shift and the fan support will shift to our side.
But we all know once you keep it close, the so-called favorite teams, they get tight. It don't matter. They get tight. All right. So for you, going into this big game, who will you need to lean on to shock the world?
I mean, the guys I've been producing all year, it ain't going to be, there's no secret. I mean, we've been blessed to have a few different options, but that could do some things for us. But the guys who've been producing all year, we're going to count on them to produce. And it doesn't have to be like no one has to go get 30 or 40 or anything like that. If they do, they do. But it just has to be play within yourself, play within the game, and don't let the moment get past you.
Yeah. So that would be the message you give to your ball club, right? Like, don't try to go oversee what you do. Just let the game flow, play your game, and don't worry about trying to make the greatest play. Just worry about doing what's within the system.
Yeah, without question. Because I mean, it's the first time in like 3 months, maybe that we're not going to be the favorite.
Yeah.
So like we can almost breathe a little relax a little bit. Because now we can go back into that hunted mode. The hunter, I should say, the hunter mode instead of hunted all the time, because we've been hunted for 3 months, maybe even longer than that, honestly. But so now we could kind of flip our mental a little bit. Is that like it's really like no pressure on us? I mean, at all. Because if we lose, people are going to expect us to lose. If we win, people shout that we win, and there's going to be a ton of fanfare behind it. So we're really right now in a win-win situation for Norfolk State's basketball. So it's like all the pressure's on Baylor. They're the defending national champs. They're the number 1 seed. They got to play the 16th seed. Like you said, only one 16th seed ever won. I'm sure that's in the back of their head because you don't want to be the second one to let it happen. So they got all the pressure. Like we could come in there and just play basketball, just relax, play basketball.
Man, I'm hoping y'all start fast because I want to see them. I want to see them Baylor boys shook. I hope we start fast. I just know how. I mean, we watched. I mean, some of us. I mean, all of us. A lot of us into college basketball. We watched the tournament for years, and we know like once you jump on the squad fast, especially if they're like the favorites, like we see people pressing. We see these kids pressing. So I would love, for you all to start fast, man. And man, thanks for being on the show. I appreciate you, Coach. Before I let you go, is there anything you would like to add?
No, just hopefully we, if everybody, I'm not sure when the show's coming out, but hopefully we can have a big attendance in Dallas, Fort Worth, and if not, please support us at home and keep us in your prayers and blessings.
Will do. All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate you, my man.